Did Celeste Cortesi pull off one of the greatest Miss Universe transformations we've ever seen? This episode's all about her journey, so it's up for you to decide. My name's Dani Walker. Thanks for clicking on this episode. I hope that you're going to enjoy it enough and choose to subscribe, as well as hit the notifications so that you'll know when new episodes are released. I created this episode for two main reasons. The first is that Celeste will be one of the most watched contestants at Miss Universe 2022. And even though she's considered a front runner, does it mean that she has the qualifications of a potential Miss Universe, or is it hype? The second reason is because when I was watching her older competition videos, I almost couldn't believe that I was watching the same person. I think that her transformation is very remarkable, and I wanted to share it as an encouragement to other contestants who feel like they're so far away from their dream title. I want you to see the changes here so that you know that there is hope. Prior to winning the Miss Universe Philippines title, Celeste competed at Miss Earth Philippines, and she went home with that national title. But let's talk about some of the specifics. At Miss Earth, they give out preliminary awards that are given for gold, silver, and bronze, much like the Olympics. She was given gold for swim, silver for gown, silver for resort wear, as well as cocktail wear, and then she received bronze in the Darling of the Press. Obviously, she did very well at this national competition, so it makes sense that she eventually won that national title. But I want to look at some of the specifics. At Miss Earth, they compete in a hashtag competition. If you're unfamiliar, they draw a hashtag out of a bowl and then they have to speak on that hashtag. They could talk about anything they want with regards to that hashtag. Her hashtag was zero waste. And I feel like this was a pretty simple answer considering she was competing at Miss Earth Philippines, and there's this great emphasis on environmental causes, so it's normal to prepare for these types of questions. Her answer was very simple. She talked about the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, repair, rot, and recycle. That was pretty much it. It was a very short and concise answer, and I feel like that really helped her. Now let's take a look at her in this clip for the swimsuit competition for Earth Philippines. You could look at this and say she has a great walk, and it is by any measure. But what's impressive is that it's gotten so much better. Not a little bit better, a lot better, which we'll see in a moment. Quickly, I want to say that if you're a pageant contestant and you need some extra help for your next competition, check out my free pageant prep course. I've linked it in the description below. At Miss Earth Philippines, she was then asked a second question, and it was interesting to watch her answer this one because English is not her native language and she was answering in English. You could really see that she needed a moment to think about that question, to actively translate the question as well as translate her answer. She speaks very slowly at the beginning of this answer, and you can tell though from what she's saying that if she were able to answer this in her native language, that she would have a very intelligent answer. Unfortunately, she got cut off. There wasn't enough time for her to finish her answer at Miss Earth Philippines. And she also was very shaken when the bell went off, alerting her that her time was up. And even that reaction to the bell, it says something about a contestant's poise and composure. When you're really prepared, when you're not very nervous on stage, hearing some bell that goes off while you're speaking, it's not going to jolt you like it did for her when she was competing in this specific pageant. But this reaction is worlds apart from the way that she carried herself at Miss Universe Philippines when they were announcing her for special awards. Once again, like two different people in the most impressive way. After Miss Earth Philippines, of course, she went on to represent Philippines at Miss Earth. She ended up placing top 8 there. Let's talk about this performance though. I think that she did very well, although her hair and makeup at Earth is so different than what it looked like at Universe Philippines. At Earth, everything was a lot darker around her eyes, and then she had bright red lips. Versus at Miss Universe Philippines, we saw a very glowy, fresh look for her. We also saw her hair swept back for the gown competition. It was just so different. It was so different. in the best way possible. I really, really like to see that growth there. Since she advanced to the top 8, she once again had the opportunity to respond to a hashtag. But this time around, the hashtag was malnutrition. And I can just imagine how difficult that word would have been to translate in another language. I couldn't even guess what the word malnutrition would be in Spanish or in French, which are languages that I'm more familiar with. And so just hearing that question, it really challenged her, and you could see that in the way that she answered. She sounded very nervous, but let's take a look, let's watch this, and let's evaluate some of this.
Good evening.
Right there, right at the very beginning, she started with her answer right away. She kind of laughed nervously, she paused, she said, "Good evening," and then she went right back into answering the question. Right out of the gate, when I'm watching this answer, even if I were watching it for the first time, I wouldn't think that an opening like that would lead to a stronger finish.
About malnutrition actually depends on my values and beliefs.
Things were sounding pretty good here. She said that her perspective on nutrition comes down to her values and beliefs. That gets me wondering, where could we be going with this answer?
I think that it's about respect, being.
And right there, she gets derailed. She says, "I think it's about respect." And then, I think it's about respect. And I feel like maybe she had the beginning of a great answer or something that she wanted to express, and then she either forgot about it, or maybe she wasn't able to string together the words for a sentence that reflected what she wanted to share. And that's a really big challenge when you're trying to actively translate under so much pressure. It is not easy to do at all.
Sorry. It's about respect.
So she repeated herself a third time, nervously laughed. She apologizes to the host.
It's about respect.
She's taking another pause here. At this point, she's starting to sound defeated because she doesn't have the end of this answer.
I think that respect is the key to purpose, to serve the purpose of our knowledge and humanity.
It was rough, it was tough, and so to see this type of on-stage answer and performance makes her answer at Miss Universe Philippines so much more incredible. If you're just as impressed as I am, comment Philippines. I want to hear from you. So now let's talk about Miss Universe Philippines. At this pageant, she won Photogenic, Best in Swim, Front Row Best Arrival Look, Miss Havana, Miss Aqua Boracay, and Miss Sendwave. Lots and lots and lots of awards. As she advanced into the semifinals, just take a look at her swimsuit walk. Look at this. Look at the walk. Look at the ease. Look at the facials. Look at the great hair and makeup styling. Look at this. Worlds apart from what we've seen before. Now she moves on in semifinals, obviously. Hello, she's the winner. And she was asked a question about growing up in both the Philippines and Italy, and to share about her best Filipino and Italian traits. And her answer was this: if there's something in common between the both of them, it's strong women. We always value family. My mother taught me to be grateful for family, loved ones, and people around you. Because when you're grateful and kind to people, they will be kind to you as well and grateful for you. She delivered a very well-spoken, heartfelt, sincere answer. So it was the content, it was the ease with which she spoke. The sincerity is what really, really got me though. Put it over the top. It didn't sound rehearsed. It didn't sound fake at all. And it just wins you over. Then for her second question at the pageant, she was asked, if you could stop time for a day, how would you spend it? And she said, with my family, especially my mother. It's been 2 years since I've seen them, and I came to the Philippines by myself. I would spend the day with my mom and tell her how much I love and miss her. And it almost sounded like she was getting a little teary-eyed when she presented that answer, which once again, it just makes it sound so sincere, but also not forced, not fake. I didn't feel like she was getting emotional to win over the judges. It felt very real. It felt like she was being present. Now, time will tell how she does at Miss Universe, but if she continues to apply herself and to grow at a steady rate, like in the way that she grew between Earth and Miss Universe Philippines, then it's quite likely that Universe could bring the crown back to Philippines. And I would say, because I think she's going to be in so many people's favorites as she is in mine, I think that it's almost guaranteed that she'll have a placement in that top 20 at this point. I'm not saying that for sure, but I already feel like she's going to take one of those spots. But if there are some other great transformations from contestants from other countries, I would love to be aware of that, to hear about it. Feel free to tag me in posts online, let me know, or just leave your requests in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other recent coverage of Miss Universe national pageants like South Africa and Cambodia, or if you want to see for yourself my recaps from Miss Universe Philippines 2022, you can check those ones out as well. I'll link them right here.